Hey y'all, welcome back to the Hack Shack. In today's video, I'm going to show the really easy method I use to do a toner transfer to create an anniversary gift for my wife this year. The first half will just focus on the method so you could use it with any artwork you've got. The second half, I'll get into more of the specifics about the actual artwork I came up with for the gift. So to do the transfer, you'll need some Mod Podge. I used matte here, seemed to work fine. The wood or whatever you're going to use to put your image on. If it's not smooth, whatever you get, I would suggest sanding it smooth and cleaning it up before you do this. Use some kind of brush to apply it, something with an edge to smooth out the image. And last but not least, you're going to need your artwork that you're going to apply. And that needs to be laser printed and printed in reverse or flipped so that when you place it toner side down, it's going to be right. You're going to want to put just a light, even coat as you can make it. And maybe your brush strokes, I tried to go with the grain, not necessarily something you have to do, but just whatever method you want to use to put a decent little even coat of Mod Podge on the piece of wood. And while it's still wet, you're going to take your piece of art and line it up as best you can and put it toner side down, and then use the card edge to try to smooth out any wrinkles that you've got. And just make sure it's all down evenly and tight. I then let this dry for about 24 hours with some books sitting on top of it to give it some extra pressure. After the 24 hours was up, basically prepared the thing. I had a little bit of water in a small cup, and I got first a paper towel to apply some of water. And sometimes you may see later on here, I might dip my fingers in the water. But essentially, you just want to start getting the paper wet, and you'll have to figure it out, and maybe some experimentation on your part. You're just going to try to start rubbing the paper. So what you want to have happen essentially is the Mod Podge, kind of like glue, is going to hold the toner there, and you're just trying to wet the paper and get the paper off. And then what should remain when you're done will be the toner. So it may take a little bit to get the feel of this. If you're way too aggressive, and you will notice that the toner may come up. And you may have some toner come up no matter what you do. And in those cases, after things are fully dry, you can sometimes fill those in a little bit. And you'll see where I did that and got some runs. So I would suggest, if you do that, probably to stick to using a Sharpie or something that dries really well and will not run later if moisture is reintroduced. But you can see I just kind of went here and worked on this for quite a while, and eventually I got things off to the point where it was looking pretty clear. And once you get things clear like you want them, you may have to go through a couple of sessions of letting things dry a little bit, then getting it wet again and rubbing things off. But eventually, once you get all the paper off that you want off, you need to let it really dry well. Optionally, you can also maybe use a hairdryer. I've done that in subsequent experiments with this, but I did not do that on this one. But it seems to be an okay thing to do if you want to try it. But eventually, once you get it all clear, and I don't show this, but once you get it clean and dry, maybe let it dry for a while, you want to go back with a top coat of Mod Podge, and you'll end up with something that looks like this. And I think this is a pretty great result for not having access to a laser cutter or a vinyl cutting type machine. Now for the specifics of how I came about creating the artwork that I actually used. So I looked around for some ideas and things, and I saw a bunch of stuff that used different sound waves. And I kind of went back and forth and wondered about recording something and trying to figure out that sound wave. But then I thought, wait a minute, I should use where we said I do in our wedding. So I dug out the wedding video clip and cut out just the part where we said I do, and then I took those two different I do's and kind of stacked them on top of each other, and I'll show you in a little bit what that ended up looking like. But I knew that I could make a visualization of that. So I also knew I wanted to have a silhouette, so I found a picture I really liked from our wedding day, kind of cut the shape of it out, selected that shape, and then filled that in with black to kind of give a silhouette. So I was pretty excited about that. Next, I wanted some text. So I was looking around for something like our I do's and all this. I couldn't really find anything that I liked, and then I saw some instances of folks saying we still do, and I kind of really liked that and thought that would still be something pretty good to go with the sound wave of us each saying our I do's. So I went with the we still do, and then now you can see how all these elements came together. And then lastly, basically I had to flip the image around to print it, and that's how I came about getting the image that you see in the beginning of the video that I used for the transfer. So I think this turned out pretty well, and my wife seemed to really like the gift, so that was pretty fun. And I've since done some other stuff, kind of going a little crazy with this transfer method, and I'll follow up with some of that if anyone's interested. But hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.